15 seconds to launch. Places, please. 5 seconds.
Adjust your mojo.
You are about to participate in a great adventure.
Now.
At age, 60? He's just gonna break bad?
Radio with an attitude.
This system that we love is broken.
I know that.
Do not comply.
Hey, mother.
Welcome to another 2 hours of common sense.
That liberty and justice for all is a myth.
And erratic behavior.
You want to, but you can't. And when you do, you wish you didn't.
This is your Daily Mojo.
They were treated horribly when they came to this country. They faced blatant, sometimes subtle job discrimination. They were excluded from skilled professions. They were relegated to the lowest rungs of the economic ladder. They were portrayed as lazy, as uneducated, as prone to crime, contributing to negative stereotypes. They were often guilty of spreading diseases like cholera, typhus, and tuberculosis. Of course, we're talking about the Irish. It's St. Patrick's Day, so I thought that was rather appropriate. I mean, they were lazy, uneducated. This is how they were portrayed. You don't see them bitching about it, do you?
No.
Matter of fact,
reparations for Irish.
Irish reparations for everyone. Boy, there's some drinking fools, too, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, St. Patrick's Day was originally a religious holiday. You know who St. Patrick was?
I do not. I was going to ask that.
St. Patrick was a dude by the name of Patrick. He was credited with introducing Christianity to Ireland in the 5th century. He wasn't even Irish. How's that for something? He was born in Roman Britain. He was kidnapped. He was brought to Ireland as a slave at the age of 16, according to the History Channel. But he escaped slavery, went back to Ireland. Legend has it that we celebrate St. Patrick's Day on March 17th because that was the day that Patrick assumed room temperature. And it goes. The St. Patrick's Day celebration goes all the way back to the 9th or 10th century. It was a very solemn religious holiday, which is a far cry from what we do today. Let me just tell you, if you are going to any St. Patrick's Day celebrations today, you
wear green.
Wear green. Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know.
Some sleazy perv. You're not wearing green. Wearing green pinch. Wearing green pinch. Origin. Where the hell did that one? The tradition is tied to folklore that says wearing green makes you invisible to leprechauns. What?
Oh, Lep can't see. Well, I'm not wearing green, so Lep can see me today.
Which, but leprechauns apparently like to pinch anyone they can see.
Look at this dude. Hang on just a second.
Can you really? I've never heard that about leprechauns. Well, he's wearing, what the hell is he wearing?
Let's see. Spotlight there. Can I get him? There he is.
Is he riding a horse?
He's riding a leprechaun.
Wow.
It's a leprechaun on a leprechaun.
That is disturbing.
Nice.
Huh.
Smoking some stuff.
Smoking some oregano. No doubt. We'll get into the drug thing a little bit later. The belief that it makes you invisible to leprechauns, therefore protect you from their pinches. People began pinching those who weren't wearing green as a playful reminder of the leprechaun's pinching power. That is right up until the Me Too movement, at which point that whole thing was like,
no, can't
oh,
do
no,
it.
you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. You know who else is Irish?
Who?
Hunter Biden. You know where he is now?
No.
South Africa.
Oh.
He went to South Africa. He went on a vacay. We should know about this because we're paying for his round-the-clock Secret Service protection.
He still gets Secret Service protection?
He does indeed.
Wow.
What's wrong with that? Trump did it.
I guess so.
6 months. I think he gets Secret Service protection. He was, and apparently his wife is from South Africa. She and he and their, I think they have a daughter, went to South Africa. And there are those who say, and really, do you have to be suspect of everything that involves the Bidens? The answer to that is yes, but, not necessarily. They say he went to South Africa to avoid a deposition that he was going to have to give this week. He dropped that lawsuit that he had against the two dudes who posted his laptop contents online at marcopolo.com.
Yeah.
Did you ever download that?
I did not.
Oh, I did. You want to talk about some entertaining weekend reading. So he dropped the lawsuit against them because he said he didn't have the money anymore to be suing them. But they were all looking forward to the whole deposition thing and discovery this week. So he doesn't have the money, but he's staying at a $500 a night beachfront villa described on its website as an ultra-luxurious designer home with spectacular 180-degree unobstructed views of the sea.
Nice.
Let's see. He was in the judge hadn't even decided yet to dismiss it. He withdrew the lawsuit, but still has to go through the process of being dismissed by the judge. And the other two people that he sued want $200,000 in legal fees that they incurred after he sued them over publishing his laptop from hell. He doesn't really qualify for Secret Service protection, but
I thought it was only underage children.
Under the age of 16.
Yeah.
But Biden issued an executive memorandum before he left the presidency indefinitely extending Secret Service protection for his son, according to Trump administration sources.
Wow.
The Secret Service cannot comment on the specifics of their protective means and methods, but we can confirm that Mr. Biden is an authorized protectee of the U.S. Secret Service, according to spokesman Anthony Guglielmi.
I'm surprised Trump hasn't yanked that already.
Well, he's yanking some other stuff, isn't he?
God, dog. I knew it was coming. It had to be. It had to be. Yeah, you remember I talked about this a month or two ago, and then I had a twizzy on it. Remember Lindy Lee on the Sean Ryan show? She talked about the fact that he was crazy as shit and he wasn't really in charge. Oh, yeah.
Now, this is what Donald Trump put out on his Truth Social account. Take it for what it's worth. The pardons that Sleepy Joe Biden gave the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs and many others are hereby declared void, vacant, and of no further force or effect because of the fact they were done by autopen. In other words, Joe Biden did not sign them, but more importantly, he did not know anything about them. The necessary pardoning documents were not explained to or approved by Biden. He knew nothing about them, and the people that did may have committed a crime. Well, he's just got Biden derangement syndrome, doesn't he?
So what?
He sure does.
James Wood posted on X, if SCOTUS approves this, there isn't enough popcorn in the world. So does SCOTUS have to okay him voiding those?
Who knew that?
I thought it was a presidential pardon.
Who knew that the one president could override another president's pardons?
I didn't know that.
I'm not sure.
I thought they would have had to prove it.
You didn't know the Irish were lazy and slovenly either.
Didn't. Yep.
The things you can learn from this program. Can a president overturn previous president's pardons?
What does AI say?
Let's see what the old Grockaroony says. Overview of pardon power. The answer is generally no. Once a pardon is delivered and accepted, it's considered final and cannot be revoked by a subsequent president. No, presidential pardons cannot be revoked once finalized. But we're talking about something different here. We're talking about an allegation that
he
pardons weren't actually pardons.
Correct. Yeah.
That they were not done officially. And this is kind of uncharted territory.
It is uncharted territory. It's precedent setting, which I'm a little bit concerned about. But if it wasn't, because if it's allowed to be overturned from a standpoint of if they can't prove Biden didn't know about him or didn't know about him anyhow, and maybe he didn't use auto pen, then and he still gets them overturned, that's precedent setting. However, if auto pen was used, Biden didn't know about him, they can prove this, blah blah blah, then that just means that they weren't of any good to begin with, right? They weren't effective to begin with.
So, have you seen the auto pen?
I haven't seen the auto pen. I've seen a lot of just images of Biden's signature versus his real signature. I don't know what an auto pen looks like.
It's a machine.
Yeah. Oh, I figured that, but
and it will. Let's see. Is this a good example of it? It might be. I didn't realize it was a machine. I assumed that it was some sort of everything else is a computer program.
Looking at the Ghostwriter by Automated Signature Technology. The Ghostwriter is manufactured in the USA and can help you manage your time and increase your efficiency by allowing the option of delegating your signature. Use of the machine is simple, as after printing your letter, you insert your signature card in the Ghostwriter. The signature card is similar to a credit card in that no one can use it unless you give it to someone else. Once inserted, line your letter up with the signature area and then either press a button on the panel or press a pedal that comes with the machine to begin signing.
Well, thing certainly isn't going to break any speed records, is it?
No. Within seconds, the signature is done, your letter is finished, and by removing the signature card, no one can reproduce your signature but you.
Uh-huh. Now that's I'm assuming that's what an auto pen is.
Which means anybody in possession of that card could sign as Joe Biden.
Right. And it doesn't look, we've all seen things that have, that are printed with a signature, but this thing, you'd be able to hold it up and you'd be able to see the indentation on the paper from the tip of the pen.
Yeah, as opposed to using an image as a signature, yes.
Right.
Agreed. Yeah.
So, anybody could sit there and slab the paper up underneath the auto pen machine and poof. If they can prove, how many of these auto pen thingies do they have? How much is an auto pen? Let's start there. How much does an auto pen cost? Because first thing was on autopsy. How much does an auto pen cost? The machine, the proof. Auto pen has been around since Harry Truman. AP reports that most will cost anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. So I'm going to bet the government paid about $20,000. That just seems to be the way they do things. So we're looking at probably $20,000. Although this one says it's $2,500, but you can bet there's several $1,000s. And if there are these things floating around, surely they didn't. Well, here's another one for $365,000. Oh,
wow!
I take that back. Our government probably paid $500,000 then, if they're going for that much. So, but how do you prove that he witnesses? Isn't that what they went with on, Trump with the comments about the soldiers being losers and suckers? Hey, we know he said it because somebody said he said it. It was standing right there. So if we can find somebody who was standing right there when somebody else was using the auto pen to sign the pardons, isn't that just as good? Feels like it.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is, as with everything else in government, are we going to see anything done about it? Because we've heard of all of these crimes. I mean, what, Epstein files, anyone?
I would have never thought, quite honestly, that Trump would have come out with what he did come out with yesterday or last night.
Or is this another, here, boy.
Yeah, it could be. It absolutely could be.
Is this another Gulf of America?
Because quite honestly, the news isn't even carrying it. Fox News isn't even carrying this vacate, whatever, thing. Now, or as of this morning early, they weren't, but I haven't looked right now. But if the Democrats start losing their minds about it, then it becomes a bigger deal.
No, Fox on the front page.
Does it have it now? Because it had
it had it earlier. Because it's a sign of the times. Trump takes jab at Biden after report raises alarm on who is running.
Now I saw where he put the auto pen issue, and then he put the photograph of the auto pen on top of Biden's presidential photo. But that
again, what is anything going to come of it? That's the problem.
I somehow doubt it.
This could be another Gulf of America situation, and you get, it's a fun bar game.
DM on X says there has to be proof of auto pen along with proof Biden did not authorize it, or this will become a huge disaster. If this continues without proof, it will be an even bigger disaster. Wouldn't it be easier to challenge the validity of the pre-pardons?
Again, this could be a Gulf of America.
Could be.
This could be something to get everybody else, because there's a lot.
And he may not have any, willingness to pursue it, but he's throwing it out there.
No intention whatsoever. He's just tossing it out there, and people will run after it. Wombat Mommy in the Rumble chat room says the auto pen has been used before for large amounts of documents that need to be signed. Right. But, I mean, the pardon, especially, and he's questioning mainly the ones in the tweet, or the Truth Social post, were the January 6th committee.
Yeah.
So that's
others. So he might be looking at like the family members and shit.
Alan Trotter says Bard loves the Fox News website. God, I hate that thing. How much they just have to cough up? No, it was Newsmax. Newsmax we find out now because they just had to, their financial disclosure statement came out. Newsmax is paying, is it Smartmatic? $40 million.
Oh, is that the election stuff?
Yeah. Newsmax has settled the defamation suit over false U.S. election claims for $40 million. They reached the settlement back in September, but they had to do their public financial filing on March 7th, and apparently they offered Smartmatic the option to buy stock in the company, and that is they've paid so far $20 million of the settlement. Smartmatic voting equipment was only used in one jurisdiction, according to this story at The Guardian. Was only used in one jurisdiction of the United States during the 2020 election. They sued Newsmax. They also sued One America, and they sued Fox. They previously settled with One America. The case against Fox is still going on. And, back in January, an appellate judge said the companies, they're suing Fox for $2.7 billion.
Oh.
Fox already paid almost $1 billion to Dominion. Yeesh.
That was the Tucker Carlson thing.
That was the Tucker Carlson situation. And it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And the court system is a dog and pony show.
Yeah.
At best. At the very best. This is also a big week in terms of our history and the stupidity of our history, which will go down in history as being stupid. We'll get to that. First, though, if you want to be a part of the program, remember to use the hashtag What I Learned Today and make sure that you have your American Pride Roasters coffee in hand when you do so. It adds extra horsepower and gives you much more street cred. Just ask DM. What's the temperature up there in Des Moines? Is it warm enough they can be out there roasting?
That's a good
Are they
question.
roasting their chestnuts by the open fire? Des Moines, let's see, Des Moines temperature. It is 42 degrees. If he is not out there in the driveway right now,
roasting coffee beans,
roasting up some coffee beans, then, I mean, look at that steaming hot cup of coffee right there. So if you want the original, the OG boutique coffee, which isn't bougie, it's just boutique. Big difference. Good stuff. Get you going in the morning. Just admit, you know what? The sooner you admit you're addicted to caffeine, the easier this whole thing will go. But I don't use drugs. Come on. You ever drink decaffeinated coffee?
No, I haven't.
I mean, what's the point? Right? Like putting water in your gas tank.
Yeah.
Go to American Pride Roasters. Get yours today before they run out, because you never know. I mean, it could happen. AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Where political correctness comes to die. The Daily MoJo.
Skirtanzi over in the Rumble chat room. Welcome. I don't believe I've not seen that name before in there. Glad you're here.
Yeah.
That's lawfare. They're trying to bleed them dry by using activist judges. Yep.
Yeah, there are quite a few activist judges out there. That one that told him to turn those planes around, and Trump said, yeah, no.
Borsberg. Is that his name? I think Borsberg. Well, here, the reason they gave for not turning the planes around.
Because they were in international waters already.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Boasberg. I was close, not Borsberg. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg.
I wouldn't have thought that would make a difference, but I guess it does.
Who's going to argue with you? And these apparently the gang members were the ones that were in Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah.
That were knocking on those doors.
They sent them to Ecuador, and the Ecuadorian president's like, yep, we got them from here. Thank you.
That's brutal. So it was on this day back in 2020, 5 years ago, that Moderna began the first human trials of the...
Yep.
To protect against COVID-19. They started this at a research facility in Seattle, Washington. The University of Minnesota launched a clinical trial testing hydroxychloroquine, horse paste. Or was that the other one? No, the other one was...
ivermectin was the horse paste.
Ivermectin. You sure?
Yeah. Yeah, because ivermectin is the one that is for horses.
The anti-parasitic.
Yeah, anti-parasitic. Yeah.
You people. What are you putting into your bodies? Hydroxychloroquine was for malaria. Not the CDC. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid temporarily expanded their telehealth benefits, enabling beneficiaries to receive a wider range of health care services from their doctors without traveling to a health care facility. The insanity pretty much was getting underway 5 years ago. It was New York City on Saturday, the Ides of March. Thanks for letting everyone know, Ron.
Damn it.
The states began to implement the shutdowns. New York City's public school system shut down. Ohio called for restaurants and bars to close. It doesn't feel like it was, in some ways, it doesn't feel like it was 5 years ago. In other ways, it feels like it was yesterday. It's like a different...
It's funny because when it was happening during that time period in the year after, what did you say, 2021 or 2021, the year that wasn't,
yeah,
it just disappeared.
22? One of them just disappeared.
Yeah. But quite honestly, we look back on it and we go, damn, that was 5 years ago, but it does feel like it was yesterday because you still got people wearing masks. all over the place.
Talk about being susceptible to messaging. Man, marketers love the people that are still wearing masks. I try to cut them some slack because I don't know why they're wearing it. And my first reaction is to look at them and laugh or slap. I don't know which, but I don't know why they're wearing it. They may be
trying
malaria.
to keep us from catching whatever they have. I get it. Yeah.
Absolutely. They may have some horribly contagious, disfiguring disease that they are trying to be altruistic and not spreading it to the masses. They may be having a compromised immune system. They may have some horrific form of cancer. And they're, if they breathe in pollen, that they could die. So I don't know why they're wearing it, but some people that I see wearing it, I'm pretty sure they're just idiots. But that would be mean. So, and coming up this week, we will. It's the anniversary in a couple of days of the CDC asking healthy people to donate blood if they are able, because there was a shortage of blood during the whole scamdemic. The governor of California issued the statewide stay-at-home order.
Was that wasn't Newsom then, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yep. Remember 2 weeks to flatten the curve. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Duck and cover. Right?
Yeah.
You're going to feel a little prick. And so we'll stay on top of all the exciting anniversaries that are happening this week. It's just and that again, Dogie is the gift that keeps on giving. How many here, by show of hands, were aware of the United States Institute of Peace? Yeah, me either.
For the record, I did not have my hand up. So
the USIP. How many of these agencies are we going to discover?
Is that one of the 8? Is that one of the 8 that Trump decided to shut down?
Well, here's the weird thing. The Institute of Peace, I don't know how many officials work there. I know they have a $15 million budget. They were created by Congress, but they are not a government agency. Figure this one out. According to The Hill, several members of Dogie arrived unannounced with FBI agents on Saturday, but they were not allowed into the building after being approached by counsel for the USIP. They were met at the door by the outside counsel, who informed them of USIP's private and independent status as a non-executive branch agency. After they had a little confab there outside the doors, the Dogie representatives departed. This is according to Gonzo Gallegos. Gonzo sounds like he'd be fun at a party, doesn't he?
Gonzo.
What's your name? Gonzo Gallegos or Gallegos. He is the USIP's director of communications. Dogie ordered mass firings at a wide range, blah, blah, blah. USIP is a national nonpartisan organization created by Congress and dedicated to protecting U.S. interests by helping to prevent violent conflicts and broker peace deals abroad, according to their website. That's what, how could you argue with that? Their whole mission is to protect our interests by helping to prevent violent conflicts and broker peace deals abroad, according to their. It uses federal funding to perform its mission and works closely with the Department of Defense. So I'm sure there's nothing to see here. I'm sure it's all above board. The website is it's usip.org. Let's see if this brings it up. Nope, naturally. Let's see, here it is. Right there, the United States Institute of Peace. Very nice landing page. How China exploits Thailand's crackdown on scam compounds. about us. Congress founded the U.S. Institute of Peace in 1984 as a nonpartisan independent organization dedicated to protecting and blah, blah, blah. Our work helps keep America safe, reducing the risk that the United States will be drawn into costly foreign wars that drive terrorism, criminal gangs, and migration. How's that working for you?
Not working out well.
Doesn't seem like it really has done. But yeah, but you ought to see all the wars we didn't get into. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the new documentary on Netflix called Surviving Black Hawk Down?
I started watching it. It's like a 6-part series or something like that. 3-part.
Close. It's 3.
I watched the first episode. Yeah.
It's interviews with the guys who were there on both sides. The men
yes, that's what I found
interesting
is that it's got both sides of the story. Yeah.
Somalis.
Yeah.
Somalis who were fighting against soldiers in Mogadishu. It was considered the Battle of Mogadishu. The mission there was to take out the leader of Somalia, Mohammed Farah Aidid, I think is his name. And he was accused of having his forces attack a UN peacekeeping group. That was the reason that we had to go in and take him out. You may remember, and I did very clearly, the Mike Durant was captured. He was one of the pilots of one of the
Black Hawk
went down, and they captured him, and they made him record a tape, VHS tape, and they released. I remember that tape being on the news. They also drug, I can't remember his name now. They drug at least one or two of our dead soldiers through the streets of Somalia. And I remember when that happened. It was 32 years ago. It was 1993.
Wow.
And no, it's been a long time. As soon as that tape, though, came out of Mike Durant, and I think one of the things they had him say was, when it's bad when innocent people die, which is true. They were trying to get him to say something that would be embarrassing politically to the United States. As soon as that happened, the mission was abandoned. It's like, all right, we're leaving. Which, weird. What, and the guys that they were talking to, these are Rangers and Delta Force.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the hell? Why are we leaving? If we leave, all the guys, our friends who died here died for nothing, for absolutely no reason. And it's true. And why were we taking out Aidid to begin with? Who knows? That's the other thing that, again, after these past 10 years of horseshit coming out of D.C., you go back and you look at everything you were told about everything that's ever happened with regard to wars, especially, and you're like, I don't even know if I believe you now. Why were we taking out Aidid? Who knows? We probably put Aidid into power in Somalia. He had a son who came here and became a Marine. And then after he got out of the Marines, I think he went over there and became a warlord. So what were we doing there? And the Somalians that they were interviewing, you totally understood their side of, we got the Americans coming in and shooting. And it gives you empathy to see both sides of it. But what the hell were we doing there? What were we doing in Vietnam? What were we doing in any of these wars? Now that we know how badly we have been lied to, and again, there was that period of time where, at least myself, I thought, hey, there are some things that we as the great unwashed don't need to know. National security, as long as they're taking care of business, that's great. But now we find out they weren't necessarily doing that. They were lining their own pockets. They were not operating ethically. The reasons that we were given for any incursion, any war, aren't necessarily true. It changes your whole perspective. And I've always heard the older you get, the more you realize war is, futile. That it really does change your view of war. The older you get, the more you see that it's the elite, telling the young and ignorant what to do. Because, man, when you're 20, and those guys will tell you, the Rangers and the Delta Force guys, they were like, I was invincible.
Yeah. Well,
when you're 20, you're invincible. And you're 10 feet tall, you're bulletproof. So you get hit by a bullet and you realize, damn, that hurts.
Especially if you're trained to be invincible.
Right.
Yeah.
They were, there was a piece in there about their training and talking about how they were broken down. And I thought of you because you were a drill instructor. And, I wonder if they still do that. I wonder if they still break you down. Because can you see any of these, the wokesters out there, the Navy puts out the pronouns video. Can you see them actually beating those people down?
No.
Breaking them down? Hell no. They go crying to their mother. It's disturbing to watch that documentary, and it gives you some insight into, if it doesn't make you look at why we're doing half of the shit we're doing around the world, and then you hear about these departments, these agencies like the U.S. Institute for Peace, which, in light of everything that we now know, seems like a giant steaming pile of crap. The U.S. Institute of Peace. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they've been, I don't know. It sounds more like sounds more like a money laundering operation.
Most of them were. Most of them seem to be a money laundering operation.
But we're told, and the other, when the Dogie people go in there and they're, no, you can't come in here. We're an independent agency. But wait, you're funded by tax dollars. You've got a budget of I've seen anywhere from $12 to $15 million. So if you're getting federal funding and grants, how does that make you an independent agency? And are all agencies, do they fall under the executive branch?
That's a great question. I was looking up because Trump slashed funding and cut 7.
But how can the president cut funding? So they aren't all underneath the executive branch. Some are independent legislative agencies or judicial agencies, meaning they're not directly under the president's authority. But if your work is to, if you are the U.S. Institute of Peace, you have to be working, and it says they work closely with the Pentagon, which is under the president's control. How? That seemed awfully fishy. Seems awfully fishy to me. But what the hell do I know? Space Hippie on vacay. My coworkers wear masks if they're sick so they don't spread cooties. I like sharing. No mask for me. How about if you're sick,
stay
don't
home.
Go to work.
Yeah,
that was the old rule seemed to work pretty well, right? Why would you? What the hell's wrong with people? If you're sick, don't go to work. Yeah. Gonzo is my favorite Muppet, he says. Pecan pie. How's the land in Galaxy doing? Stress cards in basic. James in Louisiana says. Bugs Mom, hey, Space. Do you have the day off? And she doesn't. She said, looking good, Brad. Aw, thanks, Odds. It's the hair, isn't it? I comb my hair differently today.
You do look younger. I like that. I mean, that's a good look for you.
I look literally. This was not it wasn't because I'm having a midlife crisis because I'm going to be 61 freaking years old in
10 days.
However, yeah, 10 days. You did that fast.
Yeah.
You told me you couldn't do math. It's because I looked underneath the sink and I went, "Oh crap! I got 4 boxes of this stuff."
That was from the Jack Sparrow Halloween costume. I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. And so I did.
Used it up before it went bad. I see what you did.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't resist, can you?
I want you, Brad.
It's hard to resist. Hell, I look in the mirror and I want me now. It really is. It's hard to resist.
I got to do something.
Even for me.
Gray going on.
Yeah. Here's Phil Bell.
This is Phil Bell on the Daily MoJo with your morning update. I have to admit that I was wrong. A couple of weeks ago on a Freedom Friday, Brad Staggs asked if the whole auto pin controversy over Joe Biden was a big deal. And I said, I don't really think so. I was wrong. Turns out it really is. It not only turns out that Joe Biden used the auto pin way more than anybody could have possibly expected, but now there's a story in the New York Post that suggests that the auto pin usage largely was abused by a member of the Biden staff who would not respond to any kind of questions. Now, this makes you truly wonder, along with a lot of other stories that have come out about the Biden administration, what was really going on for the past 4 years and who was running the country. But it also brings about a major constitutional question. If, in fact, someone else had directed the signature of actual documents such as bills and pardons and so on, supposedly by Joe Biden, how many of them were valid? And how much did Joe Biden actually weigh in on what was going on? Might he have said no to some of the insane spending? Might he have said no to some of the blanket pardons? We Americans need to know, and we need legal clarification on if acts of the president that aren't actually acts of the president are truly valid, and maybe some of these things, such as the insanity in the Inflation Reduction Act, can be removed without even having to go through the whole process of undoing what may in fact be unconstitutional acts. That is something that each of us as patriots needs to make sure our members of Congress are pursuing. So even if your member is a liberal Democrat like mine, what I want you to do is write to them and let them know that you want a congressional investigation as well as an FBI investigation into the Biden auto pin usage. Please leave a comment under this video. Let us know what you think. And I also want you to download the Daily MoJo smartphone app and enable notifications. That way you'll be up to date on the latest craziness and good stuff coming out of Washington, D.C., and you'll know how to share it with others. We'll see you down the line, and thanks for choosing the Daily MoJo.
Phil Bell's morning update is only on the Daily MoJo.com. Stupidity is not a competition.
I've now been in 50...
Unless you're a politician.
7 states. I think 1 left to go.
The Daily MoJo. The Daily MoJo.
Ironically, according to the interwebs, it was Barack Obama who first used the auto pen to sign some legislation regarding the Patriot Act while he was traveling abroad. Not with abroad, but abroad. It was an extension of the Patriot Act. Well, that's appropriate, isn't it? That the auto pen was used to sign an extension of the Patriot Act. That wonderful document. Let's see. The other thing was, our DHS insider says cold brew Ron sexual chocolate is the bomb.
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
We haven't talked about Ron sexual chocolate in a long time. Little chocolate, little raspberry.
I got it inside me.
You know what? I've never had the cold brew sexual chocolate.
Why not?
I'm not a cold coffee kind of guy, though. I just never really have been. I know Doc would brew a whole damn carafe of coffee, stick it right in the fridge.
That's what I do. That's what I do. You can't put it right in the fridge, because it break it. Don't you? If you put something really hot in the fridge, isn't it bad for
everything else in the fridge?
I've always heard.
I don't know.
I've heard that, and I've also heard never leave a spoon inside a dish inside the fridge. What's that about?
I've never heard that.
You ever heard that? You've never heard that?
No. I mean, you're not supposed to put hot stuff in the fridge. I get that, but I don't know. Does it mess up the coffee?
Well, it's just too many BTUs, I think, for, I let it just kind of dry. I let it cool off on the counter.
Yeah.
Pour it into a big pitcher and let it cool off a little bit on the counter, then put it in.
I mean, a lot of the Keurigs now will do cold brew. You just brew it over the top of ice cubes. But I don't know. I've never liked cold coffee. It's like drinking a flat Coke. I don't do it. Can't do it.
Huh. Okay.
I'm weird.
Leaving a spoon in a bowl in the fridge can lead to bacterial growth and cross-contamination, potentially spoiling the food and posing a health risk.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, see, other people have heard this. Where did these little things come from?
Old wives' tales.
It is, but...
Great-grandma says don't do it.
Is it okay to put food in the fridge with the spoon still in there? How did we... I mean, that's a weird thing, and you've never heard of that.
No, but I did hear about, like, my grandmother used to say, here, swallow this Vicks Vapor Rub. Ugh.
What?
Yep. Oh, yeah, dude, she would eat it.
She fed you Vicks Vapor?
Yep. When I was young.
Isn't it like
that's probably what's wrong with me now. Yeah.
That's what did your eye that way. Is it what happened to him? He swallowed some Vicks Vapor Rub.
I don't know, dude. My grandmother used to do some weird shit. But apparently it works.
Explaining a lot. Did it? Yeah, the weird, is it okay to put food in the fridge with a spoon?
My great-grandmother
there?
used to have a twig hanging out of her mouth. It was like a little short twig, kind of like the length of a toothpick, but on the end of it, it was frayed. And you know what she used it for? For the freaking snuff in her mouth. Come give me a kiss, baby. No.
Like a broom?
Yeah. Oh, my God. It was so nasty, dude. It was so nasty. Great-grandma. Mama Collins, we used to call her. She was in a wheelchair. God bless her. Died in 1980. She was born in 1895. I guess back in those days, you just dip snuff. But she would dip nicotine. She would dip the end of the twig in the snuff and just shove it in her mouth. And it had just drooling out the side. That's so gross, dude.
But now the thing is, nicotine is supposed to be like a cure for something. What was I the other day? It was because
we've had that guy. By the way,
that's bad for you.
We've had that guy on the show, on Don and Donna's show. I need to get him over here. He's also the one that said the water. Remember the snakes? The snake. What was it?
Oh. Yeah, the water. Yeah, it's in the water.
Watch the water.
Yeah. I can't remember.
That was a Stu Peters.
Yeah,
it was a Stu Peters thing. Yeah. Brian, I'll remember his name.
Artis.
Brian Artis. Yeah, Dr. Brian Artis. I'll see if I can get him on the show. But yeah, he says nicotine does a lot of good things for you. It blocks a lot of stuff, especially from the COVID vaccines. But he also mentions that there's a lot of nicotine in certain foods as well. So,
yeah, broccoli and things like that. Didn't we talk about that a while back?
We probably did.
Like in cigarettes, it's all the other crap that they put in there,
right?
That is bad for you. Plus, inhaling smoke generally
not good for your
probably
lungs.
Not the best thing for your lungs. I mean, I still want to know what the real reason is behind the vape thing. Because I don't think we've ever gotten the real story behind that. That was all just a little too weird and convenient. Pure nicotine can be lethal in sufficient quantities, according to Scientific American. But you know what else can be lethal in sufficient quantities? Water.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, water. At least we're on the same wavelength, dude.
Damn straight we are. No homo.
Weren't there colleges hazing students with like drinking 5-gallon jugs of water and then freaking killing them?
Good times. Good times. I had big time in college, right until they killed me. And they'll still hate the guy, but SpaceX did it again.
Health screenings, communication checks, and fueling all went as planned. Crew 10 lifting off at 7:03 p.m. Friday. All systems a go.
Go Crew 10.
With a successful separation, the Dragon Endurance capsule was flying free in orbit just 10 minutes after liftoff.
Spaceflight is tough, but humans are tougher. Days like today are made possible only when people choose to do the harder right over the easier wrong.
Commander Ann McClain spoke for the first time in orbit, alluding to the previously scrubbed launch.
Whoa. There's a woman in charge up there?
She is in charge, yeah. Weren't there like 3? I think there were 3 women of the 4 people.
Hold on a minute. Hold on just a damn minute here.
On Wednesday, thanking the team for ensuring the safety of the crew and making sure
Hey, you think that would burn you if you touched it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's an awfully pretty orange color.
It is pretty.
How close do you think you could get to that before it burned you? Like about a mile?
Yeah. Especially if you're on the ass end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Pilot Nicole Ayers also thanked the engineers.
Did she just say pilot? We have a commander and a pilot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are women?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Are these factory originals?
Dude, those spacesuits are so freaking cool.
No, not the spacesuits, the women.
No, they're cool too.
No, are they factory originals?
I would think so.
All OEM, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Women are oppressed as hell. I don't know about you, but I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that women are being oppressed. Women in space. Whose idea was that?
Behind the mission.
We're not the first humans to get to orbit, and we wouldn't be here without the bravery and hard work of those who have paved the way for human spaceflight.
Once there is a successful transition from Crew 9 to Crew 10, the team plans to tackle more than 200 experiments. They'll dive into health research, how spaceflight affects the body. This specifically will help in keeping healthy astronauts on future deep space trips to the moon and later to Mars. They'll also run flammability tests to understand how fire reacts in microgravity.
Okay, I thought that when I heard that, I'm like, that's got to be weird because water acts really weird in zero gravity.
Yeah.
It like globs together and, floats. What the hell does fire do? I mean, fire goes up here on Earth because of the heat, right?
Yeah. Does it make a little fireball in space? I don't know.
Right. I mean, that's got to be...
Fire in space probably isn't a good thing.
No, and especially like not inside the confines of the space station.
Yeah.
Which, well, it only has to last another, 5 years? We're good.
Most of their work will be dedicated to working to learn how astronauts can survive in space long term, paving the way for the Artemis 2 mission expected next year.
People are going to be on the Artemis 2, correct?
I don't know if they will be initially, but they eventually, yes.
You think NASA was taking notes?
NASA always takes notes from SpaceX. They have to, yeah. Number one, SpaceX finally got some people up there and a ship up there to bring those 2 astronauts home.
If Joe Biden really did, and this is, who knows if it's true or not, that he did not want them rescued, or he did not want SpaceX to be able to go up there and get them because of the embarrassment, basically, because he never invited Musk to the White House. I mean, they hate the guy, and yet all of these things he's doing, truly amazing. Right, Spins over in the Rumble chat room says surviving long term with women. Godspeed, friends. Right? I mean,
have they had sex in space yet? Answer me that.
Bet your ass they have.
Oh, they have to have. Yeah.
They have. They have because now they have. They have to have.
Well, NASA would never tell us about it, even if they were doing it for research purposes.
Right.
How do you have sex for research?
Try that one at home.
That's what I tell Misty every night. Honey, for research purposes.
Research. That was all it was. She meant nothing to me. It was just research. What's wrong with a little free love?
Have they sent husband wives up together? Because that's a telltale sign, right?
Yeah,
that would be okay. Yeah. Well, we know why they did that. Yeah.
I don't think.
But then again,
now we didn't specify whether it was
single
straight
astronauts
or gay
would
sex.
do it. Yeah.
Is gay sex different in space?
Oh.
Beats me.
The things I'll be thinking about for the rest of the day. Thanks, Brad.
Wade Robertson, 44. That spaceship is going to have curb scratches on the nice new wheel when I get back. Is it like Is it like ships in the harbor when they get close to the space station? Does a dude come out and go, "I got it from here"?
Or when they're backing away from the space station when they disconnect, you're like, who's in charge? I want to know who's backing up right now.
Oh shit! Sorry, was that expensive? Really sorry. That was bad, very bad. I'm looking up. If you haven't downloaded the Daily MoJo app, please do so. You can send us messages within the app. You can usually watch programs in the app. We're still working on that. We get that figured out yet?
It's the iPad issue. That's what we're working on. I'm still working on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can watch it. You just can't make it full screen. That's the problem.
You just can't make it big.
Yeah. Play with it.
If you like it big, you just, you know what? Be patient. Stop all of this immediate gratification stuff. Why do we have to be self-gratified right now? Well, not self-gratified. You can do that anytime you want. Why do we have to have immediate gratification? Can we not just put it off for a little bit?
Oh, that's such a downfall for me, dude. My wife would agree with that.
Self-gratification?
No, immediate gratification.
Oh. Yeah, you do have a little issue with that. I don't. Tower of Babel, Perkins law firm had the security clearance relocated, which is the present. Oh, Perkins law firm had the security clearance relocated or revoked. I think you might mean revoked, which is the president's purview. Right, we were talking about the Perkins Coie law firm last week that the president has decided, and they were the law firm of Hillary Clinton.
The Steele dossier.
They were the ones who funded. Yeah, they. It was where the Steele dossier. Michael Steele, and what was the company that did the dossier? It was. Yep. You got this. How many syllables?
Yeah.
Fassbinder. Michael Fassbinder. No, that's not it. Fazoli's. Nope. That wasn't. That's a chicken restaurant.
Let's see.
Fizbinder.
I'm looking.
I know. I'm trying to see if
Fusion GPS.
Fusion GPS.
Yep.
What did I say?
Fossbender.
So that's not necessarily wrong. I believe it was Fassbinder. Michael
Fassbinder. Yeah. No, Fusion
Fassbinder.
GPS. Yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah. So why shouldn't they have had their... Wade says, wait, y'all have an app now? Why didn't you tell us?
Well, 504 other people know we have one.
Clock
We
Tower
finally
drunk,
we finally crossed over 500, by the way.
1,000.
500.
All nightshade plants, 1,000. All nightshade plants have trace amounts of nicotine, which may enhance addiction to French fries or tater tots and ketchup.
Yeah, they do.
Do you know what? And I saw this morning in a chat room. Do you remember the smell of mimeograph?
Yep. The blue paper, the blue printing, I loved it. I freaking loved the smell of that. Because that's what every kid did when they passed that out in class. Every kid went holding that paper up to their nose.
Wow, a little druggy. You know where they're not? We'll talk about it. You know where they're not doing that though this year?
No.
Miami.
Why?
Spring break, and then gonna
take a live look on the left side of your screen at Miami Beach, Florida, where spring break is well underway. And with many people in party mode, police departments across the Sunshine State are ramping up operations to try to make sure everybody stays safe. Joining us now to talk more about these operations, the mayor of Miami Beach, Florida, Stephen Miner. Mayor Miner, thanks for being with us. I know that things have changed a little bit. Miami Beach spring break got a little too rowdy over the last couple of years. You're trying to keep it more peaceful this year. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Last year, my first year as mayor, we cleaned it up. We had a great spring break. But prior to that, we had some shootings on our street. It was calm. This year, we're busy, but it's calm and not chaos.
Busy, but some of the waterfront restaurants and others that depend on this kind of
mayhem.
Yeah, that
these waterfront restaurants that depend on shootings and mayhem to make a living. Where's he going with that?
To boost their business. They're saying it's gotten a little too calm, that they would like to see more people in the streets. What do you say?
Really?
I think Fox News is reaching here.
Really? They'd like to see more people I'd like to see the restaurant that says we want to see more people in the streets. Because Miami has, and I think Daytona did the same thing. They've if you're going to, if you want, don't come here if you're going to party. Which, I'm sorry, why else go to Miami or Daytona?
That's all you do on South Beach.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, okay, I'll bite. They want more people in the streets. All right.
Yeah, I was out and about last night for several hours. It was brisk. It was busy. People were out there. I mean, last year our hotel occupancy rate was really high. Our hotel room rate was the highest in the nation for the month of March. Well, the numbers are still coming in, so we'll see. But I think we're going to match that. We're doing well. We're busy, but it's calm. It's peaceful. It's safe.
The governor has had a couple of things to say about conduct during spring break. Let's listen to Governor DeSantis.
Some of these businesses, some of these restaurants, they have their windows broken. They'd have people rush in, they'd eat, and then they'd leave. They didn't pay. There was all kinds of stuff that was going on as a matter of course. And then last year, they were like, we never had it so good. So I'm directing state law enforcement agencies to provide the additional personnel and assets that are needed to our local entities here in Miami Beach, but also in other places around the state to ensure they have the resources they need to keep the peace.
See, right there, it's proof that your strength is your weakness. So you got a bunch of these youths out there running around, getting crazy, shooting at each other, going into restaurants, dining and dashing, doing wacky stuff that puts their lives at risk. Those are the people you go, you know what, we should round them up and put them in the Army. Am I wrong?
No.
That's why you put them in the Army. That's because they're willing to do the crazy stuff. You get a little older, you go, whoa, that was kind of crazy right there. Man, we didn't know how close to death we were. But spring break has been down in Miami and Daytona and, South Beach, everywhere for, decades? I mean, it started in, the 50s? Something like that. I mean, why all of a sudden did they start going caveman? When did that happen? Was it right after the machine shut everything down? Remember how you couldn't? Remember the spring breaker who was, I think it was a spring breaker, who was in the ocean, and the cops went out and were like, "You out?
You're contaminating the water. Get out." Yeah.
You could be. Remember that? We're like, what is wrong with you people? Wasn't it after that everything kind of started going sideways?
It was around that time, yes.
It seems to me. So again, is this just another natural offshoot of authority and the government trying to influence behavior when they shouldn't have? And what's wrong with dining and dashing anyway? If you're really, really hungry, it's kind of like it's not stocking if you really, 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 really need to meet them. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't, because I'm not.
You're not.
The drugs aren't what you would expect. We'll get into those next on the Daily Mojo.
stupidity is not a competition.
The whole island will become so
Unless you're a politician.
overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
The Daily Mojo. The Daily Mojo.
Well, I bet, Mommy, why does he sound like a whiny bitch? DeSantis? Wow. I didn't, because I remember saying I didn't really trust DeSantis. I don't know if I trust him or not. Maybe I still don't. It was just a gut feeling I had. I mean, and people are like, yeah, maybe he should be vice president. Isn't J.D. Vance a much better choice?
In my opinion, yes.
Seems like it. No one gives side eye like J.D. Vance. Freebie 38. The sun is on fire, and that's a good thing. Yes, it is. So fire is not necessarily good or bad. It just is. Dr. Free Range Prisoner, Doc didn't put brewed coffee in the fridge. He made cold brew, which is totally different than hot brewed. Cold brew is actually made with cold water, brewing over 24 hours in the fridge, and it's awesome. But he would make he'd make a pot of coffee.
He would make a pot of coffee and put it in the fridge.
Yeah. Wisconsin Jackhole, I like white goatee Brad Staggs better.
I don't know. I think darker goatee Brad Staggs is pretty hot.
Look at me. Yeah. FDR's quote from Dr. Free Range Prisoner, war is young men dying and old men talking.
Yeah.
That is the truth. And over in the Daily Mojo chat room, Pope Freebie the 38th, what about the Pope, huh? He pulled through. Kudos to the Pope.
Is he back? Is he back strong now?
I haven't heard anything about him lately, right? So he must be okay.
Yeah.
Crazy liberal coworkers who want grandkids. My crazy liberal coworker who wants grandkids was at work pissed off because his son got clipped because he doesn't want to have What in the hell? Can you read that? Because I do not.
Where's it at?
It's in the Daily Mojo chat room, and I may have had a stroke, but I don't think so. Pope Freebie the 38. My crazy liberal coworker who wants grandkids was at work pissed off
because his son got clipped. His son got a vasectomy, and the granddad wants grandkids. So he's all pissed off because his son got...
Read the rest of it.
Okay. I don't have it.
Well, how'd you just read the part that I
didn't read it. I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm
but I'm not making any damn sense.
Yes, you are.
Oh, read it then.
Oh, my God.
The hell's the rest of it say? You don't have it open? You don't have the chat room
open? I'm going over there right now. No, I don't have it. Okay. The crazy liberal coworker who wants grandkids was at work, pissed off because his son got clipped because he doesn't want to have kids. Sure, Trump's presidency and her daughter refused to have children. Maybe don't raise your children to be morons. So basically, the liberal granddad wants grandkids, or wannabe granddad wants grandkids, but his son got clipped. And
okay. You don't know either, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
mean, the dude that got clipped, it must be his son-in-law, and his daughter don't want to have kids. So now he's not going to get to be a granddad. That sucks.
I think Freebie's right. You need an editor.
Yeah. Or slow down a little bit while you're talking.
Or just slow down. Why you got to be in such a hurry, Freebie? Just slow
proofread,
down, enjoy.
or just proofread.
Enjoy. Enjoy.
Before you hit
Relax,
send,
enjoy.
Proof it. Yeah.
The new drug being passed around school playgrounds these days is the same typewriter correction fluid that can be bought in any office supply store, according to health officials. Officials have been inundated with reports about abuse of the substance since March, when the medical examiner of New Mexico reported the deaths of 5 adolescents who had inhaled the fluid's vapors, then suffered sudden cardiac arrest. We've known about the abuse of correction fluid for 10 years or so, according to Charles W. Sharp, a biochemist at the National Institute on Drug Abuse. But it seems we're hearing more about it in the last few months. This story was printed January 25th, 1986. Officials say the fluid is an inhalant drug along the lines of model airplane glue and pressurized cans of whipped cream that have been sniffed by people looking for a cheap way to get high for years. Do you remember sniffing Whiteout?
No. I remember the smell of Whiteout. I don't remember. I never sniffed it, but.
Well, I guess it's like Whippets. You know what Whippets are.
The whipped cream cans. Yeah.
Yeah, they're big in the gay community. I figured you'd know. What?
I don't know about them. Why do you know about them?
You just
no, I know
it,
what
so
they are.
Okay, it's.
I've never had them.
It's okay.
Oh my gosh, I've never had a Whippet.
I'm not sure I believe that, but
now,
okay, it's all right.
Model airplane glue, on the other hand,
I may have sniffed that a time or two. If you put it in a paper sack and just put it up over your.
Wow.
But the correction fluids contain trichloroethylene and trichloroethane, solvents that keep the fluid liquid but also provide a mild feeling of euphoria when inhaled. It's similar to that giddy feeling of alcohol. It doesn't last long. They have to sniff every few minutes to keep the feeling going. When I read this, the first thing I want to do is go find some
just to test
Whiteout
it out
and sniff it. Because I never thought about doing that.
Do they even still make Whiteout in a liquid?
I looked that
anymore?
up too, but I don't think it's the same formula. For some reason, I think they may have changed it.
Now it's the tape. It's been the tape for years. The Whiteout tape.
The taint?
Tape.
The what?
Tape.
Oh, tape. Look, you know what you do with the taint and Whippets are your own business. I'm not going to criticize you for it.
Yeah.
Both drugs enter the blood through membranes in the nose, then race to the heart and brain where they stimulate the nerve endings. It's not known if the drugs cause permanent brain damage, but they may have.
Dude.
But health officials believe they can prod the heart into an episode of irregular beats that could lead to cardiac failure.
You want to smell different things that you didn't know you could smell? Become a laser engraver. Holy crap. We were engraving rubberized pens yesterday, and both Misty and I got headaches because we're like, geez, that smell is crazy. I even use an air extractor, but that doesn't extract the smell. It just takes the dust out of the air. That and leather. Leather smells like a dead body because it is when you burn it.
Montana spray paint, that's what it is.
Montana spray paint.
Montana spray paint. I didn't realize that Montana spray paint was like what graffiti artists use. We were in Nashville. It's been several years ago.
Is it something
after the
specific?
Nashville tornado. Well, it is because it sprays at a pinpoint.
Oh, okay.
Typical spray paint, kind of puts out this wide pattern, but this stuff, and so you can write with it on a wall. I didn't realize that's what it was for, and I got some when I was refurbishing a couple of magic tricks, and I was like, this stuff sprays like shit. It's just one line. I'm going, oh, that's what it's for, because it's just a real fine line, so it doesn't blend well together in that sense, and it smells horrible. I mean, like nothing it hurts to breathe it. And maybe you should try not breathing it.
Not breathing it, yeah.
Or wearing a mask. And I don't know if it gets you high or not, but it was, just, wow. I've never smelled something quite as acrid ever. But going back to the Whiteout stuff, because we've talked about sniffing gasoline on this program. If people are addicted to sniffing gasoline, it's just kind of weird if you ask me. But again, no judgment. But the Whiteout thing, I don't think that they still have that for sale. At least not the same stuff.
I'm looking at Amazon right now. See.
The manufacturers of liquid paper, a leader in the industry, are aware of the abuse of their product and have agreed to include in its formula a dose of foul-smelling oil of mustard to discourage inhalers.
Yeah, you can buy it. It's Bic puts it out. It's called Whiteout, but it probably has some.
I'm guessing that
there's liquid paper and there's Whiteout that you can find.
But did they change? They had to have changed the formulation. And this all started because I was looking through, I don't know even how the oh, I know what it was. Hang on a second. It was where did it go? I had this over. Aha! It was Clock Tower Drunk. Thank you, Clock Tower Drunk, who brought this to my attention. And here it is.
There was a weird smell in Simi Valley schools in the 1980s that every Gen Xer secretly loved. This is a fact that no one under 40 has ever heard before, but anyone over 50 would say, oh my God, I used to love that. No, not nuclear fallout. It was the smell of methanol and isopropanol in the classroom. But wasn't that toxic? Every classroom handout and assignment was printed with a psychedelic purple ink on a machine called a mimeograph. That wonderful classroom smell came from the chemical duplicator fluid that coated every printed page. Yes, but wasn't that toxic? Some people believe the smell was intentionally addictive, designed by chemists to entice kids to relax and actually do their schoolwork. The fragrant, chemically treated paper became such a treat for school-age kids, they would look forward to receiving their activity pages and handouts. The mimeograph became the most widely used system for mass-producing printed materials in schools.
They stopped using it, according to everything I've read, in the late 80s. But I don't think I ever thought about, huffing it.
Did you ever get to use a mimeograph machine?
I think so. I mean, we had one in the office when I was in high school. They must have been expensive because...
I mean, obviously before Xerox machines, right?
Right. It was, and Xerox... They got popular or became affordable in the late 80s when they said most of the Ditto machines, because that's what we call them, the Ditto machines, went away. And that's what they look like.
Yeah. The mimeograph machine was a Ditto machine, you called it?
Yeah, Ditto machine.
Yeah.
Go make some Dittos of this. That was before you called them Xeroxes. But they had that, and I've read in a couple of places that, I can't confirm it, that the DEA ruled that the mimeograph fluid was a controlled substance. Now, which, again, you can outlaw...
Dude, we went to schools that were full of asbestos back then, too, so...
And we would chew on the ceilings. We'd get in there, and we would actually lick the walls and the ceilings, and by God, we liked it that way.
They shut down the whole high school I went to remove all the asbestos, and I'm thinking, well... You either didn't do it right because it still smells like it did when I was in high school, or
right. They shut down the schools the other day here in Texas because of high winds.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they were blowing trucks over on the interstate.
Yeah.
I mean, so they were high winds, but still, if they had ever shut down, I mean, growing up in the Antelope Valley, we had winds on a regular basis, 60-mile-an-hour winds. That was just an afternoon in the Antelope Valley. If we shut down schools for every time the winds kicked up, we'd never have gotten to school.
Come on, dude. When it rains hard or starts freaking lightly snowing, they shut down the schools down here. In North Dakota, they're going, pussy.
Yeah. It turned into a nation of pussies. It's no wonder. It's disturbing. But the chemical, I can't confirm whether or not the chemical used in mimeographs in the Ditto machines became a controlled substance. I mean, I know that you have to go, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or any other store and you buy spray paint, you have to give them your freaking ID.
You sure do.
Which is ridiculous because what does that do?
It's not just spray paint either. It's glues and different things.
Really?
Too.
I've never had to give my ID for glues.
Depends on the glue. I mean, there are certain glues you have to give your ID for, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never had to do it. Where do you buy glue that you had to get your... You had to give your ID to buy glue at Home Depot?
It was a certain kind of glue. I want to say it was like in a tube like caulk. But I can't remember the type of glue. But it was definitely a glue that I had to give my ID for. Yeah.
You just had to get some of that caulk?
I had to get some of that caulk. You can't say that word with that. It's like a silent L. You got to.
I don't know why.
You
the rest of us, but okay. We're learning a lot here this morning about you.
Yes.
Just saying. Let's see, what are the ones that are cocaine stimulants? The common household items that can be abused. Dusters. We remember the spray duster thing?
Oh, I still have a few of those cans, yeah. You hold them upside down and you freeze the shit out of stuff, yes.
Yeah, but you can, if you inhale that stuff,
probably
it gets you high.
Yeah.
According to this. Whipped cream or nutmeg is another one. If you ingest, I think you have to snort the nutmeg. Who's ever heard of that one?
I double dog dare you to go get some right now and show us how it works.
I think you have to grind it up first.
Well, use your grinder. I know you have one.
I know you're gay. Since we're letting secrets out.
Damn, lashing out a little bit there. Wow. Jeez.
Glue and markers. There is something about a good Sharpie, right?
Oh, a good Sharpie. Yeah. You take the lid off a Sharpie, you just got to take a second.
Give me a second. I just want to. If I ask to sniff your Sharpie, does that mean we have something between us?
Maybe.
When you're turning these pens that you turn over at Mojo Laser Pros, do you take a minute and sniff that one?
No, that's just sawdust. Now, the CA glue that I use to put the finish on them, it's not the CA glue, it's the activator. Because the activator,
high AF at that point.
That activator will knock you on your butt, and it's aerosol in a can. So yeah.
Did you want to talk about the pens, or you just want to talk about getting high?
Oh no, we can talk about getting high. Yeah, we're going to be giving away another pen at the end of this month. Pens right now are on sale for $50, and your choice of wood, choose the wood you like. And I'll hand turn it for you. Put my hands on your wood and send it right to you. God, I'm just needing to shut up.
What is wrong with you?
I'm going to shut up.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, we're giving away a pen the last week of this month, another pen.
These are nice, thick, heavy.
They are heavy pens, yeah.
They write good. They write better than a Sharpie.
And Brad's got the maple and purple heart pen.
I do.
Yeah, I did a few of those this last week. Sent those out. No smell.
No, it doesn't have any.
But that is super glue. That's CA glue, otherwise known as super glue, that makes the finish on the outside of that.
It's shiny, isn't it?
With some real nice sanding. Yeah. It brings out the real nice.
Brings out the highlights in
the wood, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Very nice, very smooth, it feels good in your fingers, and it writes real pretty. And that's the most important thing. Why does the president use a Sharpie to sign?
I don't know, but it's a big-ass Sharpie.
It is a big-ass Sharpie.
I don't know why.
Because you can't really tell what he's signing, how he's signing his name.
Yeah.
Because his name is legally
Donald J. Trump.
No. Isn't his legal name Drumpf?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that just like an urban legend?
I don't know. I'm looking.
I think, but I may be wrong. Maybe he had it legally changed. I don't know. But I always thought, okay, well, because you can't really tell what the hell. You can't tell when I sign something. You can't tell what the hell my name is either. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, Wikipedia usually has the real name there, but no, this says Donald J. Trump.
Huh. There you go. Who knew?
Yeah.
So anyway, go to mojolaserpros.com and get you some wood that Ron is fond of. Buy a pen. You'll love it. mojolaserpros.com.
If you're offended, you're listening wrong. The Daily Mojo.
Wait, you can get high off of hairspray?
No way. That just sticks your nose hairs together. F that.
I was going to say, that sounds like a really bad idea.
I struggle with that anyways. I don't need hairspray to help me with that.
Spray paint, spray deodorant, hairspray, cooking spray, and fabric protector. They can all be used to get high. I've had no idea. Gases that can be inhaled include nitrous, laughing gas, right?
Yep.
Helium from helium balloons. Is that bad for you?
You don't really get high on helium, though, do you? You can get high on nitrous.
Get lightheaded.
Oh, nitrous. Dentists use that, and I love it.
Yes, they do. And yes, the nitrous is the same thing in your little whippets.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's what's inside the
Pretty
can?
sure.
Nitrous oxide?
Mm-hmm. Oh. When you're sniffing those, you're sniffing the nitrous.
Okay.
What? Chloroform or halothane that can be found in refrigerants, lighters, or propane tanks. Propane. And nitrites that are referred to casually as poppers. They're abused for their sexual enhancement.
Lep said, I heard one was supposed to smoke nutmeg. Didn't work. I tried it back in high school. Now, isn't when you're watching TV shows and movies, when they're smoking cigarettes, isn't that nutmeg?
Those are cloves.
Cloves. Okay.
You ever smoked a clove?
Uh-uh.
They're not bad. I mean, they're.
Is it harsh? Is it a harsh?
It has a little bite to it.
Yeah.
Has a little bite to it, but it's.
I knew it wasn't
horrible.
real cigarettes in the movies, but I thought it was nutmeg. But you're right. I think it's cloves. Yeah.
You know when they snort cocaine, quote unquote, in the movies, do you know what that is?
Sugar powder or something?
B12.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
So they really are snorting something. It's just they're not snorting cocaine. It is it's B12. I'm looking. Hang on a second. This is not it. Let me find the. Did you see the NPR reporter who whacked the president in the nose?
I did. Look, he took it gracefully. I have to admit that because he could have blasted off, dude.
Well, I mean, the look he
gave him. Yeah.
Gave her. Oh shoot, that's a. Hang on, this is not going to work. Hold on a second, because that one isn't going to work. I thought I had it over here, but I didn't.
It's probably on YouTube. Yeah.
Thank you. It was an NPR reporter, which of course makes you wonder.
He said, "Look, she just made TV today. She made the news today." Yeah.
How could you be? I mean, there.
Boom. Look. That look right there.
Right there.
There were a lot of things in his mind at that very moment. A lot of words wanted to surface. But now, he held it in. It was good.
I'm going to say, if she is hot, we give her, something of a pass.
Is that her? Is that the one that did it?
There you go. Do we give her a pass? Do we give her a pass?
I don't know.
The answer is no.
Does she talk about it? Does she talk about smacking?
In Michigan, Trump will speak about crime.
This is not her talking about it. This is her talking about Trump and the KKK during the election, trying to tie Trump and the KKK together.
Howell. It's a town of about 10,000. Ahead of that, his campaign emphasized, in contrast to what VP Harris has said in the past, Trump wants to, quote, overfund the police. Trump's campaign has not yet responded to NPR's questions about why they chose Howell. Howell has historic links to the Ku Klux Klan and was the site of a white supremacist demonstration last month. Danielle Kurtzleben, NPR News, Detroit, Michigan.
So,
Danielle Kurtzleben.
Waren Sie Kurtzleben? Nein. She's trying to. I wasn't trying to tie Trump to the cake. Come on. Be honest with yourself. Now, maybe when she takes off those glasses, maybe does the librarian thing. Nah, I don't see it. Do you?
No.
No. I mean, she's just. Bless her heart. Just homely. But do you think she hit him on purpose?
No, I don't think so. And I think if he thought she did, it would have been a whole different discussion at that very moment. I mean, those things are wild-ass long boom mics to deal with anyway.
Look at that look.
He was looking to see if she did it on purpose. Yes, I get that. Have you ever smacked anybody with a boom mic?
That's a personal question, and I don't feel the need to answer that right here.
Maybe put that away. Stop playing with that.
I've never held one that far away. I don't know what she was.
What is that? What in the movies? What are they called? Gaffers? No.
Boom mic.
Yeah, but they're called. There's another name for a boom mic operator. But anyhow, I think those things are a little wieldy as they are. I mean, you're talking about a 9-foot pole with a heavy microphone on the end with a big fuzzy thing around it. I mean, sometimes it gets out of hand.
You done yet?
No. Yeah, I'm done.
I don't know if they use boom mics at Radio and TV Marti, but they won't be anymore. You're not familiar with Radio Marti? You've been paying for it. Can't believe you're not familiar with Radio Marti. Radio Marti is the radio station and TV station that were set up to broadcast, in theory, non-propaganda to Cuba.
Okay.
This thing, they were set up, and their budget was $12 million. They were set up, Radio Marti began in, when the hell year did they set those up? 1985. 40 years we have been funding Radio Marti. The executive order was signed on Friday to continue the reduction of the federal bureaucracy. The U.S. Agency for Global Media and 6 other small agencies are reducing the performance of their statutory functions and associated personnel to the minimum presence and function required by law. Several full-time employees and contractors at the Marti stations, which are based in Miami-Dade County, were placed on administrative leave with full pay and benefits, according to sources familiar with the action. Now, again, it was created to, and tell me if you believe it, to broadcast to Cuba uncensored news and information.
Because they're a communist country?
Because, in theory, Castro and the administration there in Cuba were...
Yeah, it's a little hard to block radio waves. That's how Radio America...
So you think that Radio Marti was legit in trying to give, the straight scoop, the straight skinny to the Cubans? Because I just have a sneaky feeling that likely Radio Marti was, broadcasting propaganda to the Cubans. Why wouldn't we be? The whole idea, right?
Yeah.
Operated by the U.S. Agency for Global Media's Office of Cuba Broadcasting. And since the time that it was created in 1985, they expanded to include TV and digital operations. They continue to be a vital communications link to the Cuban people in support of freedom and democracy during economic, cultural, and political hardships. The launch of Radio Marti in 1985 was met with a swift response from the Cuban government, including jamming the airwaves and suspension of an immigration agreement. Though much has changed politically, and this piece was written in 2020. So it was, at the time, Marti was 35 years old. Today, more than ever, the people of Cuba need accurate and unvarnished information, which is exactly what you'll get from the United States government, right? Because that's what our government does. It provides accurate and unvarnished information, and it does so through the likes of her. I mean, is that not the face of accurate and unvarnished information?
Yeah, yeah.
You even need to throw her in the pool to wash her off?
Maybe.
I don't know. I think you're getting what you're going to get. The Cuban audiences have sought the Martis as an alternative to the country's state-controlled media. Especially true as disinformation about the coronavirus pandemic and rumors about false cures circulate throughout the island. Huh. So wait. Radio Marti was going to give the Cubans the straight scoop, the skinny, as it were, on the Rona and how they could really protect themselves from it. I'm seeing a bit of a disconnect here, but that's just me. The current global health crisis, again, this was written in 2020, the current global health crisis is just further proof of the Cuban government's unwillingness to put the lives of everyday Cubans above the power-hungry needs of its elite. Wait, are we talking about Cuba or the United States? Our reporting, despite the government's efforts to block it, is saving lives.
Wow. Kurt Slavin, NPR News, Detroit, Michigan. Secretary of State.
Does it get any thicker than when the government tries to lay on how honest and accurate they are?
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying I would trust Fidel Castro or his, well, he's dead, so. I'm not saying I would trust the Cuban government. I'm not saying I would trust him any less than I would trust the American United States government. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Ron, do you have a few things to say?
I do have a few things to say, and I do have a comment after this as well, but quite honestly, if you buy some hot coffee, guess what, folks? This shit's going to be hot.
The way I see it. This is Ron's wonky perspective on life.
Okay, here's one for you. Picture this. You're at Starbucks shelling out $6 for a cup of coffee so hot it could double as a portable volcano. You take a sip, or, I don't know, decide to bathe in it, and surprise, it burns you. Ouch, right? But instead of going, maybe I should have waited 30 seconds, you sue Starbucks for $50 million, and a jury says, yeah, totally, here's your jackpot. This actually happened. Starbucks just got ordered to pay a customer $50 million because their drink was too hot. Welcome to 2025, where personal responsibility is apparently just a quaint little suggestion. I mean, come on. Coffee's hot. Shocker. It's not like Starbucks handed her a cup labeled surprise ice bath and it turned out to be molten lava. There's a reason they put those caution hot warnings on the cup, because some of us need a neon sign screaming, hey dummy, don't chug this like it's a Capri Sun. But no, we've got folks out there acting like they've never met a hot beverage before, and now they're $50 million richer because they couldn't wait for it to cool down. This is peak, it's not my fault culture. Spill your coffee? Sue the barista. Trip over your own shoelaces? Blame Nike. We're like a society of toddlers throwing tantrums, except instead of a timeout, we get a paycheck. Remember that lady who sued McDonald's back in the 90s over hot coffee? She was the OG. And now we're all just following her lead like it's a master class in dodging accountability. What's next? Suing the sun for giving us a sunburn because it didn't come with a manual? And the kicker? Starbucks probably has to pay this out of their Oops, Our Customers Are Clueless fund, while the rest of us are left wondering why our lattes now cost $12 and come with a 20-page waiver. We've turned into a nation of blame shifters where every owie comes with a lawyer on speed dial. Maybe instead of a $50 million payout, we should have handed her a thermometer and a life lesson. Hot things burn you, and that's on you, champ. So here's my plea. Let's stop treating every mishap like a lottery ticket. Own your choices, sip responsibly, and let's leave Starbucks alone to overcharge us in peace. Because at this rate, I'm going to sue my toaster for popping up too fast and scaring me. And I'll expect a beach house out of it. I'm Ron Phillips, and that's the way I see it.
The way I see it is only on the Daily MoJo.com. The Daily Mojo.
Over in the Daily Mojo chat room, Pope Preview the 38th, this time self-editing, I think. Imagine having a government that has to wait 60 years for everyone to die that was involved in order to tell you the truth, and they don't tell you. Right? You can't
right
trust
where we are
anything.
now. Yeah.
All right, so the hot coffee from Starbucks incident.
It wasn't just because it was hot. I understand this. The story is that when the barista was handing the coffee, they didn't quite set the cup all the way down into the cup holder, and it fell on to the customer. And so the jury found that they were liable for $50 million freaking dollars for dumping hot coffee in his lap.
You don't think that's appropriate?
Wow, dude, $50 million. Give the dude $1 million. $50 million? Come on.
That'll get overturned on appeal.
God, that's a lot of money. But yeah, I know it wasn't just because it was hot. It was, but you know, there are people out there who will sue because they burn their lip on freaking hot coffee when it is hot coffee.
Wade Robertson, 44 says, how often, Ron, do you chug Capri Suns?
Oh, do I love Capri Suns. I'll punch that freaking straw
in
in and
those?
suck that down. A bunch of crap that you don't need, but they're good.
Freebie 38 wants to know, Ron, did you get my note?
What note? Probably not.
I would say, Freebie, that would be a no. Semi-ambivert. Sometimes a turd is still a turd, Brad, even when you take off its glasses. I don't disagree. Freak in the sheets, maybe. I don't know. Freak in the sheets. You people disgust me. I was talking about her cat. More than slightly venomous, Kirk. That is absolutely the face I put on NPR if NPR had a face. Right? I mean, what's her name? Kleindenschmug?
Something German.
Her name? Right. She has that. Remember Sean Connery?
Yeah. The one the slap.
Yeah. I mean, if a face could say slap me without speaking, that's it right there. That is the face you'd make. Yeah, right. DM says, the only question that matters about that journalist, does she have more or less than 20 cats at home? Good point. You know, when they, what was the dude that was on NPR for so long? Great voice. And then they fired him in the early 2000s. I can't remember his name. He had a fabulous voice, great to listen to. And back in the early 2000s, I swear they weren't this wacky. They probably were, but not to this extent. Because I would listen to them on the walk. What the hell was his name? He did his own podcast. Incredible voice. Anyway, I'll think of it. But everything's just gotten so out of hand and so extreme. Oh, and before I forget, we were talking about drugs, and I meant to leave. Let's just pretend this is sealed, because I meant to leave this sealed so we could do an unboxing.
Nice.
So just let me turn this down a little bit so you can hear it. This will be our ASMR. All right, you ready?
I love that. Rub it against the microphone, Brad. Rub it against the microphone.
Oh, you mean the paper?
Yes, that. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Who'd you get this from?
How much money? You know how much money some people make just doing this?
Yes. Yeah, they do.
A lot.
Scraping their fingernails against the microphone. That's crazy.
Ugh.
The hell of a knife you have there, Brad.
Thank you. I didn't think you'd notice. Hold on. You ready? You know what this is yet?
I don't. Is it magic? Is it some kind of magic?
No. Well, It might be.
Oh, this is the honey. This is mad honey, isn't it?
Okay, I can kind of get into this ASMR thing.
It's cool, right?
It's really
especially if you're wearing headphones. Yeah. I could do without that.
I think you kind of like that, actually.
Oh, you got to try some of this. Do it.
I'm not doing it now because you're going to be doing it with me.
Oh, come on, dude. Mad honey.
It's the maddest mad honey. I have to hold on a second. I have to readjust my angle. There. This is the maddest mad honey. And it says, have a good trip. Get it? Because now, Ron and I are going to try this together. Wow, that is tiny print.
You got your glasses handy?
Nope. Wait, I do have a pair stuck down here in the drawer. How's that look?
Old.
No, I still can't read it.
Take a picture of it with your phone. That's what I do.
I know.
And then zoom in.
It's sourced by the honey hunters of the Gutung tribe.
Oh, this has the makings of something really good.
Warning, contains
hallucinogenic
toxins.
Oh.
Consume responsibly, it says. Which means we're going to do it irresponsibly. It's made with Nepali, 100% raw Nepal mad honey. And do not exceed 1 tablespoon of mad honey in any 24-hour period. This honey should not be taken by anyone under the age of 18.
Or if you have high blood pressure, probably.
Does not say that.
Okay. I was trying to figure out a way not to have to do it.
Oh, don't be a pussy. It's honey. You wuss.
I'm a rule follower, Brad. I don't want to.
Are you?
Nah. I mean, kind of.
Make up your damn mind. Are you or aren't you?
Is Bethy going to try it?
Right.
Should we all sit around the campfire and do it?
No, we're going to sit at a table with...
at a Waffle House. Let's do that.
What are you, nuts?
We got to wait till about 2 a.m., though.
Well, then you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between us and anybody else that was in there.
That's true.
So we're going to sit at a table, I think, and just, taste a tablespoon of it and see what happens.
Mad honey. What's the website? Is it? I got a message that says Beth is not, and you should say no too. Wow.
I have to have all the fun myself. If anybody out there is looking for a fun playmate, just, to sit around and have honey with, I'm available for a very low rate. I'm like a bouncy house. I can be rented for parties, but it's probably all bull crap. I mean, it probably does nothing.
He says now.
Well, I mean, if it was really that good, would they sell it online? I mean, and send it through the mail? I don't think so. I don't think that, but I'm going to try. And Ron, tell Beth you're not a puppet.
I'm not telling her that because that'll make me a puppet.
You wuss.
Mm-hmm.
You total wuss. DM says, by the way, for $50 million, you could throw cups of Starbucks at me every day. Right. Well, we're going to see. We'll get this done. Either I will do it myself.
Well, I have to be in about a week. I'll be bringing you our new our new sponsor stuff, so we can do it then if you want.
So you're going to do it.
I'll do it with you. Yeah.
So you're not a puppet. Good. Tell him you're not a puppet.
But we're going to have a monitor. Beth will have to monitor us to make sure we don't do stuff to each other we're not supposed to do.
Define not supposed to do.
Are we going to be on camera?
Yes.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it's just a story that someone told, and we could have Grok make it up.
That's true.
The woman, by the way, who got the how many millions was it? She got it was a whole bunch more than she only. Do you know how much the woman's sued for? Back in, this was in 1990. Gosh, where did it go? 1994. The 79-year-old woman who went through McDonald's had ordered the hot coffee. Her nephew, I think, was driving. She has the coffee between her legs. He pulls over into a spot. Because I'd always heard that, she reaches up and takes it and pours it in herself. No. She's sitting in the passenger seat. She's 79 years old at the time, puts a coffee between her knees and goes to pull the top back, reaching over cup, pull back, and it tips back toward her. And it says, we're all thinking that, just dropped it down, but it went right there. Whew. And she was hospitalized for 8 days, had to have skin grafting. She tried to settle with McDonald's for $20,000 to cover her medical expenses. Okay. $20,000 was what she asked.
Okay.
McDonald's refused.
Bad move.
They offered her $800, according to the online stories. Again, if these are true.
Bad move, because did she go through with suing them? Is this the woman?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't remember?
Yeah. And didn't she get like $3 million or something?
Oh yeah, it was crazy. Her attorneys argued that because it was being served at 100 to 180 to 190 degrees, and Starbucks coffee is served about 160.
Yep.
But you can order it extra hot, and it can reach 170 to 175 degrees. So at 180 to 190, and again, you want hot coffee. I get it. You order hot coffee. I want hot coffee, because there's nothing worse than ordering coffee. And it's like, ugh, unless you're ordering iced coffee. So the jury found that McDonald's was 80% responsible for the incident, and they awarded her $160,000 in compensatory damages to cover the medical expenses, and $2.7 million in punitive.
Punitive. That's what you get for not trying to settle. Anyhow, I don't.
That was the equivalent of 2 days of McDonald's coffee sales. The trial judge reduced the punitive damages to 3 times the amount of the compensatory damages, totaling $640. The parties settled for a confidential amount before an appeal was decided.
There you go.
So she did not get. So, and was it frivolous?
At the time, we all thought it was very frivolous, right? Because she had put it in her lap, if I'm not mistaken.
I just told you she put it between her knees.
Between her
tried to
knees.
lift the coffee cup, the top off, and it.
Yeah, sloshed out.
That's the other thing. Sometimes you get a drink and the top's not on there very well, because some of those tops don't fit very well. But yes, it was a bigly mistake not to just settle for the $20,000. Although they probably didn't want to establish precedent.
Well, they ended up
establishing precedent. Right. The past medical expenses were $10,500. Her anticipated future medical expenses approximately $2,500, and her daughter's loss of income was about $5,000 for a total of approximately $18,000.
Wow.
I know. Wow. I'd never heard the part about the $800. When Bernardo refused to raise his offer, they contacted Texas attorney Reed Morgan. Is he like the guy that stands on the truck? No, that's somebody else. The Texas Hammer. What's that guy's name? I'm Lloyd Rammer, the Texas Hammer. Whatever it is. Then they sued in the U.S. District Court.
What's his name? Jim Adler.
Jim Adler. I'm Jim Adler, the Texas. And he's standing on top of a truck
with a hammer, with a sledgehammer,
with a hammer. Yeah. Which to me is irresponsible because you're teaching kids to stand on top of a semi truck. Are you not?
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, you might as well be teaching them to subway surf. Tell me I'm wrong, because I'm not. So he sues in the District of New Mexico, accused him of gross negligence for selling coffee that was unreasonably dangerous and defectively manufactured. Morgan offered to settle for $300,000, and a mediator suggested $225,000 just before trial. McDonald's refused both.
I sent you that video. I'm Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
The Texas Hammer. Right. Then, oh, shoot. Do we have time? Because I really want, if you've not seen this dude, have you seen the guy that was on the no-fly list? They put on the no-fly list for punching the gate agent?
No.
Let's see if I can find it real quick. Punch. Is it United Gate Agent? Because this, and you tell me, I mean, this guy. Is it that one right there? Yeah. Let's see if I can. If I cry out loud. Just play the damn thing.
Video posted to social media shows a passenger punching a United Airlines gate agent at Dulles International Airport. We want to warn you, some viewers may find this video disturbing.
If you're a pussy.
The passenger, whom police say is from Maryland, has been charged with assault.
Boom! Son of a bitch.
Dropped him like a bad habit.
Oh, if I was the gate agent, I would have dropped immediately. I would have I would have flailed around on the floor.
Like
hurt my neck.
Fit?
Yeah, hurt my neck.
Oh,
I'd
have been like freaking
charged with assault.
Well, he
big dumb.
Now banned from
what was the basketball player that used to flail around? Bam.
Man, I mean, that's a solid punch.
Sports Jessica Albert is live at Dulles.
That was a solid right hook.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he did. He went down like a bag of wet cement. Now, what they didn't tell you was that the dude, and I'm not saying it's right that he did that, but I'm going to say that he had his flight, one of his flights canceled, and then so they had to put him on a different flight, and he had had an A ticket, like a good seat.
Yeah.
And the flight they put him on, they stuck him in a middle seat.
Sean Bradley. Remember Sean Bradley from the Dallas Mavericks? Anytime they would hit him, he'd freaking fall on the floor, flailing around.
So would I. That's a good idea.
Yeah. You ready? Let's do this.
What do you mean it's let's go?
Nice cover. Nice cover. That's 2 hours of audio deliciousness and drug tips from the Daily MoJo for today. Thursday, Monday? Oh, yeah. The 17th day of March, St. Patrick's Day, year of our Lord 2025. Does anybody know anything that anybody learned? I don't know. Airman 66 CES, remember Mike Tyson punching the guy behind him on a plane? Oh, yeah. But this was like, yeah, you're right. Tyson did really, boy, that would hurt. But you'd had a hell of a story, right? Tyson, yeah, I got punched by Mike Tyson. Oh, that would hurt. E1 Guru says, what I learned today, I'm thinking, give me a minute. I see what you did there. Sir Rat Bastard, dude just has a glass jaw. Isn't that weird? Dudes look at that and go,
I'm telling you.
Well, that's a solid
If you're in public and somebody punches you, fall to the ground and grab your face and flail. Because that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
You're getting some money. Trust me.
Because, at that point, you become Exhibit A.
Yep.
Be a really, really good Exhibit A.
Don't fight back. Just fall to the ground.
Nope. Just fall, You want to be right or do you want to be happy?
Yep.
Because I'm taking happy and I'm going down like a load of bricks. Watch me. Sammy Ambivert learned Brad's looking for a playmate, and Ron will turn your wood.
I will turn your wood.
Those aren't necessarily
after I handle it.
together.
I have to handle it first.
Right. That's make it slick. Peekapoo, the basketball player, used to play around LeBron James, and he's still doing it. I see what you did there. And over in the Daily MoJo chat room, Deb, y'all have a glorious rest of your manic St. Patty's Day Monday. Always much love. Mucho love is what we like to say in Espanol. And Pecan Pie 82 said, sorry, was over working on the dang darn work screen. Busy Monday. Don't you give me your excuses. Just remember that we the people must hang together, otherwise we'll be dropped like a hot rock. No kidding. 6-7 for Tyrannus, resist stupid, and good night, Doc Thompson.
Wherever you are. See you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Watch and listen at thedailymojo.com.